to yet another episode of Bill Has Opinions, where we drink and we say things about random stuff. I am Laura Lavoie, and I am here with Bill Perkins, who has opinions. How are you, Bill?
I'm all right. A weird thing happened this week. Yesterday at lunchtime-ish, my boss told me one of my coworkers tested positive for the COVID-19.
Oh, no.
And he sent us all home, and he said, don't come back without a negative test. So I stopped by the clinic on the way home yesterday, and I got my nose swabbed out, and that tickled. And I am now waiting to find out if I will live or die.
Oh, so well, damn. Well, I hope you live.
I'll be all right. I don't have a whole lot of contact. As I mentioned, maybe I mentioned it. I don't know. I'm at the first job in my lifetime where I have my own office. So that's nice because I'm basically by myself, and because I'm basically a department of one, kind of like I report to my boss and nobody reports to me, and I work independently and nobody really needs to talk to me. So I'm pretty isolated, which is bad for the soul but good for the health, I guess.
Yes. Although I would take full advantage of a full quarantine period and not go back for several weeks.
You think I should stay out for 14 days?
Yeah, I think you should. Take advantage of that because you can still work. You can still do what you need to do.
Yeah, I guess I can. So I have some VPN issues sometimes where the VPN likes to butt up against the program I'm trying to use. And for that reason, I prefer to be in the office because I don't get that grief in the office.
Sure.
And then it's just also I've got I got one of those monitors. It's about this big and curved, and and then at home I've got this. So it's just easier for me to work in the office. I don't know. I'll tell you what. Honestly, I'd like to be out for a day or two. I'm not going back till next week for sure. Okay. Regardless of when I get my test, but I did get tested, and I should be okay. I'll be okay. I think I'm okay. I got no symptoms, and I don't actually interact with this person. I just, it was a thing. It's a little alarming. The numbers are going up. Everybody be safe out there. That's the thing I got to say about that. You guys wear your mask and don't go out and do a bunch of crazy risky stuff with a bunch of people. That's crazy. And I mean, that relates to what we're talking about today, Thanksgiving. Maybe your plans have changed a little bit because it's a crazy year. And you shouldn't have gatherings of more than 10 people. And Happy Thanksgiving, Heather Biederman. You especially be careful because Minnesota, oh my God, they're having some numbers up there. They're putting the numbers on the board.
Yeah, Minnesota, Michigan, all the cold states.
All them M states. You know what's great about Michigan and Minnesota? They're so easy to get confused that one might possibly cite one of them for the other one in a court case. You know what I mean? You could be say, for example, you could be mad because you thought you got not enough votes in Michigan that you could cite a county, but you actually won in Minnesota as your example. And then then the judge might laugh you out of the courtroom and say, "Get out of here! You're a terrible lawyer."
Yeah, no, that's exactly. And Heather is confirming that she's being safe and they're going nowhere and they're doing Zoomsgiving.
It's better than
everybody's favorite new holiday. Well, what are you drinking, Bill? What are you self-medicating with?
Yeah. So I just finished off two Madeline Pilsners. That was my pregame, and now I'm about to drink a Bold Rock white cranberry cider. I'm not really
Ooh.
excited, but I like cranberry. This excited me. Look at it. You can almost see through it.
You really can. It doesn't look very cranberry at all.
It says white cranberry cider.
Oh, all right. Well then, yeah.
I guess it tastes a little cranberry. Yeah, it's a little more tart than apple cider. It's okay. I don't love cider, but I do like cranberry, so I figured I'd try it.
And it's very Thanksgiving.
When I get done with that, I've got. You want to guess?
Is that a Cold Mountain already?
No, it's not. It's a Ninja Porter from.
Oh, Ninja Porter. Nice choice. Nice
So
choice.
What are you doing?
Well, let's see. Before the show, because we like to be perfectly lubricated. We got the Pretoria Fields, this local. Well, it's Georgia, Southern Harvest American Light Lager, which is, as advertised, a light lager. And then I busted out another Pretoria Fields, a Walker Station Stout. Apparently, they are like a farm-to-table beer place. Like, they only do local everything, but their stuff is really good. And then after that, I've got a Hoplanta from Atlanta Brewing Company, if I get that far.
Okay. I think you'll get that far.
Probably will. We tend to drink a lot. That's really what we do. Sort of the theme of the show. All right. But the theme of this show, not just that we drink a lot and we just say random stuff, the theme of this show, because it is Thanksgiving week in the US of A, and we are celebrating on Thursday, giving of thanks. So we're going to talk about particularly Thanksgiving dinner and all of the trappings involved. So,
Right.
Bill, what do you want to say about it?
It's probably okay. So I only have two meals a year. Well, I've only got 2 meals where I allow the food to touch each other. I'm one of those people who I eat. I eat like I like my food not to touch. Like I'll freak out if the green bean juice gets in my mashed potatoes and that kind of thing.
Sure.
So I only have 2 meals that are allowed cross contamination. One of those meals is when I eat barbecue pulled pork, as we call as you may know it outside the South, but here locally barbecue. When I eat barbecue, I like like a fork full of barbecue and slaw and all these things kind of mixed together. And when I eat Thanksgiving dinner, I like turkey and dressing and cranberry all on the same fork. And it's like those are my 2 exceptions to food touching each other. So there is that. Like I love all the flavors of Thanksgiving. There's so many things. We're going to talk about so many things that you have to have. You have to have so many things on the Thanksgiving smorgasbord that you're going to get your bloat on. Let's just put it that way. You're going to eat too much, and you're going to feel bad later.
It is true. That is true. As a matter of fact, we are hosting a very, very small gathering. It's just us and 2 other friends. And we were texting today. We ordered a full Thanksgiving meal from a local pub down the road because I didn't want to do all the work. But then I decided I had to make 2 sides to go with it. So I'm making 2 sides. And then our friends texted us that they're making 2 sides. So we have way more Thanksgiving dinner than 4 people need.
So tell me what the 2 sides you are.
I am making a sweet potato casserole. And I actually have a question about sweet potato casserole later in the show. And I am making a wild rice stuffing, and I'm making that because one of our friends is gluten-free. She has a gluten allergy, so I wanted to make sure that we had something that wasn't, stuffing, like bread stuffing, to go with everything. So those are the 2 things I'm making.
Okay. What 2 things are they bringing?
They are bringing deviled eggs and green bean casserole because green bean casserole is tradition.
Absolutely. And it's got the French onions on top, right?
I believe so. Yeah, I assume it has some sort of French onion fried things.
Rather, the French is fried onions is what I mean. The crispy.
Yes.
And it's basically, for the folks who might not know, green bean casserole is green beans swimming in a mushroom cream of mushroom soup usually, and then it's covered. It's covered with a crust of French's fried onion to give it a crispness and also some flavor. But I mean, I'm telling you what, man, that is totally traditional. I'm down with a particular side dish. It is a thing that one simply must have, and it's probably the only time in year I'll ever eat that. But you look forward to it. It's like, it's dumb because it's like totally like out of a Campbell's cookbook. It takes like all of 16 minutes to make,
yeah, it's 3 ingredients, all of which come from cans.
You can use, to be fair, you can use green beans.
You can.
If you want to get fancy.
Definitely if you wanted to be fancy, but it's not really meant to be a fancy side dish. It's not really what it's there for.
No, really, it's not.
So do you know what you're having for Thanksgiving dinner?
I do not. So we're going to my mother-in-law's, and I guess my wife is bringing me the sweet potato casserole, and I offered to make mac and cheese, which I always offer to make. And my wife hates my mac and cheese, so she told me don't bother. And I said, yeah, I said, fair enough, then I shan't bother. Because it would totally be a bother to make it. And if you don't want it, then to hell with it. I won't do it. It's less work for me.
Yep. Hey, Jill from Michigan is watching. Happy Thanksgiving, Jill, with your turkey and your... Hey, what is that last? Oh, that's a dinner plate. That's what the last emoji is. I'm like, what is that? A bed?
I want to talk about my mac and cheese for a minute.
I want to hear about your mac and cheese.
So my wife doesn't like. She thinks it's a little dry. My mac and cheese is like the way I fix it. I fix it the way my grandma fixed it, and it's like a pasticcio, really. Like, it's honest to God, it's like cheese pasticcio. You boil the noodles, okay? You boil the elbows. You put them in the casserole dish about this thick. You put a layer of sharp cheddar cheese.
All right.
Like you get a block of sharp cheddar cheese and you cut it into strips about this thick. Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna move my hand out of my face so you can see the pinchiness. Okay, it's like a quarter inch maybe.
The thickness?
Yeah, of the cheese.
Yeah.
And then so you put a layer of sharp cheddar cheese, and then you put another layer of noodles, and then you put another layer of sharp cheddar cheese, and then you get yourself a mixing cup, okay, like a two cup mixer, and you take eggs, you break like 5 eggs in there, and then you pour some like heavy cream in there, okay, and some salt and pepper, and you stir it all around, stir it real good. And then you dump it in there. You dump it in that casserole dish, and it runs all between the cheese slices down into the macaroni, and it kind of fills in. And then you're gonna have to put a couple more eggs and some more cream because you didn't quite fill it up yet. You stir that up. And then you do it until it's all up to the top cheese level. Okay. And then you put it in the oven at 350 for about half hour, 40 minutes, something like that, till golden brown on top. Like, you want the cheese to get bubbly, like a little crisp. And then, I tell you what, I love that shit. My wife hates it. She thinks it's dry. That's what she says.
All right. Hilarious. That is almost exactly how I learned to make mac and cheese. The only difference, we didn't use eggs. So you would just put the milk or cream, whatever you put in, that would go in the layers. And then,
Okay.
but otherwise it's a block of cheddar cheese. You slice it up, you place it on top in layers just like that. I love that shit. And Matt hates that shit. So sometime in the future, when we're back in Asheville, we will need to have some mac and cheese.
We're gonna get together and eat some mac and cheese. Yes.
Oh, yeah, 100%. For a holiday, for any day, just a random Saturday, we're gonna eat some mac and cheese.
And so I think the egg and cream mixture makes it like gives it the texture of pasticcio, right? Like, because that's essentially it's pasticcio with cheese added, right? Like,
basically, it doesn't have the meat sauce. It doesn't have a few other ingredients.
But it's kind of got the same texture, really. The texture is pretty much pasticcio. I didn't realize till the first time I ordered pasticcio, and then I'm like, oh shit, this is just grandma's mac and cheese with some other things in it. You know?
I also love to make pasticcio, which is I have another question for us later in the show. I
don't make pasticcio for Thanksgiving though.
But yes, Matt would like to point out he totally agrees with Emily. It's a bit dry, but he respects our taste. My question is, does he respect your taste, Bill Perkins, or my taste? Because I don't know if that's true. I'm not entirely certain.
It might be mine because
right. Well, yeah, you have no bearing on whether he likes that particular style. All right, so we should probably take a quick break to talk about our station break. The company that did not pay us to plug them and probably won't even know because we'll forget to tell them. So let's do that. I'm going to promote Found Sound Record Store in Ferndale, Michigan. Partly because my brother works there, but also partly because people really like records. And if you're in Michigan, you should go buy some records. Ask for Michael. He'll be surly, and that's exactly what you want about the guy that's selling you records.
Will he be judgy about that?
100%.
Because I'm looking for a Warrant record on vinyl.
Totally judgy about that. 100% judgy.
It's mildly related to Thanksgiving because it's got a song about cherry pie.
I actually have an entire playlist of music for Thanksgiving that includes just random songs about food because.
Does it have Butterbean?
Which song?
Butterbean.
Yeah. I have Butterbean and Cornbread and Butterbeans is the only song I know of with that.
Butterbean by the B-52s, though. It's a song called Butterbean.
Oh, no, yes. B-52s, I'm going to write it down.
Yeah, add it to the list. You got to have it.
All right, it's added. I have several other, I not specifically, all right, Found Sound, go shop at them. Anyway, not specifically the B-52s, but on my Christmas playlist, I have a Fred Schneider song that's also about food. Because it's one of my favorite songs. It's Fruitcake. No, it's Fruitcake. And we'll talk about that on a future episode because we have a whole episode about Christmas music coming out in February and December.
Familiar with the Fred Schneider classic, "You Threw That Ham at Me"?
It is a good one. I think of that more as an Easter song.
Oh, okay. It makes sense. Yeah, it's funny that we use ham to celebrate Easter.
Yeah. Well, I didn't grow up with ham celebrating like Thanksgiving or Christmas, so.
Okay. Well, so in the South, you often have a turkey and also a ham.
Yeah, I know it's common, but I never had it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had ham, but not for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, all right. It's common to have 2 kinds of meat in case you hate. Oh, so here, I want to get into this for a second. My family, growing up, my uncle hates turkey. He thinks it's really dry, right? He doesn't think the macaroni's dry, but he thinks the turkey is dry. And so my grandmother, to appease him, would make a chicken. She would bake a chicken instead of a turkey because chicken's a little greasier. And I get that, but I always thought that's sacrilege. You're being crazy. I'm not eating that shit for Thanksgiving. And to that end, as soon as I was able to opt out of my family's Thanksgiving, I would so my parents were divorced when I was 3 years old. And as they were divorced, I chose to go to my dad's house for Thanksgiving because my dad was from Maryland, and there you ate a fucking turkey.
You ate a turkey. You might also eat crab legs and lobster and all kinds of other good stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure they ate crab in Maryland also with Thanksgiving. But anyway, he did make a he probably had. But my dad also lived down in Beaufort, South Carolina, so he probably also made a low country boil or some shit like that, you know.
Oh, I'm in for that.
But he made turkey and he made pumpkin pie. My grandmother was a chicken and sweet potato pie person, and I was like, nah, that doesn't cut it for me. The chicken is like, it's just not. I want turkey, and secondly, sweet potato pie is okay, but pumpkin pie and sweet potato pie taste similar. They're cousins. However, sweet potato pie, if you don't run your sweet potatoes through a strainer, it has a tendency to be a little stringy, and I don't particularly care for that. I like how smooth the pumpkin custard is. It's so fucking smooth. It's delicious. I've actually got a pumpkin pie sitting on the counter at home right now. Just a store bought, but I bought it because, like, from November through New Year's, I just eat the shit out of pumpkin pie. I eat it all the time. I'll eat it for a meal sometimes. I'll put slices and just wolf down a pumpkin pie and choose it with a glass of milk. I love that shit.
Well, I mean, it's a great breakfast. Like, it's got everything you need.
Yeah. It's got eggs and it's got pumpkin and it's got pie, right?
It's got pie, exactly. So that brings me to a question that is on our list: alternate meats. So it sounds like you are firmly anti-alternate meats. You want turkey. That's Thanksgiving.
I want turkey. Here's a funny story. My stepdaughter is a pescatarian, and because she's a pescatarian, and then also my wife has Crohn's disease. So between the two of them, it leads to some comedy around Thanksgiving dinner because people trying to accommodate their particular, like I'm trying to make this without gluten or I'm trying to make this without meat or whatever the hell, you know.
Right.
So 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I don't remember. One year, my wife's aunt made a tofurkey. Listen, the pescatarian did not care for it.
She would have preferred like just a nice big tuna steak, like
or just a plate full of vegetables and the hell with it, right? Like, you know.
Exactly. Well, that's what I figured. For alternative meats, you don't really need them because, like I said, we're having Thanksgiving dinner for 4. We get the turkey and all the fixings from the restaurant we ordered it from, but we each are making 2 separate sides, so we don't need that much food. It's going to be way too much food. So it's not necessary. But like I know some people who like to do like a beef roast or something, or just something alternate that's completely different. But I'm with you on turkey because I only eat turkey maybe 2 times a year anyway.
Yeah,
unless it's deli meat.
2 holiday meals, you get turkey, and then you eat it the year.
Yeah, we don't cook turkey breast like we do chicken breast for dinner ever.
Right.
So I want turkey. But I have learned, because I love you, Mom. You're probably not listening to this, but I love you. But my mother made a dry-ass turkey. That shit was dry. And I learned over the years it does not have to taste like that.
Right. That is a thing. Growing up, I will say this. 10 years ago, grinding a turkey was not a thing in most places, right?
Yeah. Thank you, Alton Brown. Like,
right. Like, we didn't, nobody knew. Nobody knew that you could make a juicy turkey. And So two things that happened: brining a turkey and deep frying a turkey both happened, and both of those things make a delicious turkey. Or I guess you could brine one and then deep fry it. I don't know if that causes like splatter
Like,
or what.
maybe. But for the last several years, we've done, both here and in Asheville, we've ordered turkeys from barbecue places or places that otherwise do smoked turkey. And
Right.
I'm all for smoked turkey. That's
Smoked turkey?
probably my plan for the rest of my life.
I like smoked turkey. I also do like deep fried turkey, which I've had once. Somebody did one that was injected with hot sauce, like a Cajun style deep fried turkey. Oh, delicious! Yeah, I think Bojangles. If you live in the South, Bojangles will provide you a deep fried Cajun injected turkey for a fee. If you would prefer not to do it yourself.
Right.
We were at Lowe's the other day, and I jokingly asked my wife if it was, now that we own our own home, and we're kind of getting up in years, and we're probably eventually going to become the epicenter of the family event. Do I need to purchase these items? Do I need to start deep frying a turkey? if there's going to be a turkey cooked at my house that I'm in charge of, it's going to be deep fried. Okay, just saying.
That's fair. That's fair. I will probably do roast, or smoked for the rest of my life. But honestly, I would probably buy a smoked turkey for the rest of my life because barbecue places, they can do it better than I can. Like, it's just going to be better.
They know what the shit they're doing.
They do.
You know what? I would say that, hey, I know we already did station break, but if you live in a place where there's a local barbecue joint that's smoking a turkey, I would say, yeah, throw them a bone and order that smoked turkey. And also, if you live near a place that's doing pastries, order yourself a pie from somebody. I know it looks pricey. I'm the kind of person where you go to the grocery store and the pies at the grocery store are like $5 or $6, and a pie from a restaurant, like a good quality pie, is probably going to cost you $30. But trust me, there's a big difference in a grocery store $5 pie and a $30 restaurant pie. And I'm just going to say, I don't know, like, reach out to those places. They probably need the money. This has been a tough year for restaurants. So, yeah, buy that crap.
Yep. No, that's what I figured. Like, there are some things, like, I don't think Thanksgiving dinner has to be 100% homemade because I'm not that good at it. So let me make the things I'm good at, and then I'll buy the things I'm not good at, and it'll be better.
Sure. Why put yourself out? I think something else is all on the topic of not putting yourself out. Heinz makes a pretty decent canned turkey gravy. Gravy is a real art, okay? It's a tough thing to make and get exactly. And to that end, I don't fault anybody for canned gravy. The canned gravy tastes just fine, to be honest to God. My grandmother, in addition to making turkey and sweet potato pie, when she did make any kind of poultry and with stuffing, she would make giblet gravy, which had like hearts and livers and bullshit chopped up in it, and then also we probably had at least one, probably two boiled eggs chopped up in it. Also, it was disgusting. My grandma. So here, my grandma was, as I told you, she made a chicken because my uncle was picky. She was a terribly accommodating woman, and because I was picky, also, she would make giblet gravy for everybody else, and she would make me a non-giblet, like a thin gravy.
Right. No, it's funny actually that you bring that up because my late mother-in-law, I love her in Emissary, especially at the holidays, but she was one of those accommodating people, and she would make, between it was her two sons and their partners, and that was it, 5 people at Thanksgiving dinner. But she would make like enough food to feed an army. But part of it was because she would make different things for different people.
Right.
And I used to be really picky, and I overcame that level of pickiness. And then I'm like, you know what? She makes good food. I eat the food she gives me. It's delicious. But other people in the family, and I won't name names, although like I said, there were only 5 of us, never got over that. So they needed their own food completely different from everybody else. And I'm like, why would you do that? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I didn't think about it because at the time I did it, I was young and I just knew what I liked. But yeah, bless my mom's heart, grandma's heart for making me regular gravy. And I see Amy says her mom would do the same thing, huh? Make giblet gravy and regular bacon starter gravy. Because
she had me a bacon started gravy.
Right? Like, what's this? It's bacon gravy. So in my grandma's house, and I mentioned my grandma because my mom's not much of a cook. Bless her heart. But my mom's not watching this, but my mom's not the cook my grandmother was. Okay, I'm just gonna be fair. My mom was a working single mom, so she did her thing. She raised me, but cooking was not her forte. She's got maybe 2 dishes that are okay. The rest of it's shit. Anything she tries to do that my grandmother did, she did a half-assed, second-rate version of. So my grandmother's cooking is what I remember fondly. So my grandmother made a bacon gravy too. She called it red eye gravy.
Yeah.
And red eye gravy was completely different than a Thanksgiving gravy. So that's interesting to me. I never thought about putting red eye gravy on anything but grits. But
right, exactly.
But I guess I would. You know what? I would eat stuffing with red eye gravy and not think twice about it. I would be like, that's okay too. And have you seen that? Oh, I think it was last year, maybe the year before. This became a trend. Leftover stuffing to put it in the waffle iron. Have you seen this?
Yes, I have.
Yeah,
I've done it.
I think,
I'm pretty sure not last year, but we have done it before. And I will make a stuffing hash brown situation.
So are you a stuffing from the corner of the pan or stuffing from under the bird person?
All right. Actually, I have many opinions on this. Definitely a stuffing on the corner of the pan. I like that crustiness. But much like Alton Brown taught me how to brine a turkey, Alton Brown also taught me, don't fucking put anything inside your bird that you're going to eat. I feel very strongly about this. Do not put stuffing inside a bird. Do not do that. It affects everything. That's how people ended up with dry turkey, because they were overcooking the turkey because the stuffing would be raw otherwise, and it was all covered in salmonella. So don't put any stuffing in the goddamn bird.
Well, so my grandmother never put stuffing inside the bird, which was a chicken.
Right, as it turns out.
She would put stuffing under the bird, and so the stuffing under the bird is wet stuffing. And
I would not eat that. Nope.
Okay. And then the stuffing at the corner of the pan is the crusty stuffing, right?
Yes.
And so people have a preference sometimes about whether they want crusty stuffing or wet stuffing. Like my uncle is a wet stuffing person. He loves the wet stuffing. That's all he wants. I think I like the crusty stuffing because I'm going to put gravy and cranberry sauce on the stuffing anyway, and therefore it will cancel out any dryness. But the crusty stuffing, it's more of a textural juxtaposition, right? It's like I've got the crusty stuffing that's crusty and dry, and then I'm also eating cranberry sauce and gravy on that stuffing, which kind of cancels out the dryness and gives me like I said, a juxtaposition of the 2 textures.
Right.
Now,
right.
Having mentioned cranberry sauce, homemade recipe or jelly out of a can?
All right, so I'm going to blow your mind. I don't like cranberry sauce, so I don't give any shits. Like, I don't care what people give us. Is it like my sister would make handmade cranberry sauce, and I'm like, you go, that's great. I'm still not going to eat it. And my mother loved the jelly in the can, and Matt loves the jelly in the can. I don't like either one, so I'm fine without any of it.
My opinion is the shit. You can take your grandma's fucking recipe and shove it up your ass. Because milk is where it's at.
I appreciate both for what they are. Like, I appreciate that somebody put all the love and energy into making a cranberry sauce. And I also appreciate that there is nostalgia in the can where you still have the little rings when you dump it out. I just don't want to eat either of them.
You don't like the taste.
I don't really like, not of that. I like cranberries, but for some reason I don't like I like the taste of cranberries. Like, I'll drink a cranberry beer or a cranberry cocktail or something, but I don't like just straight up cranberries.
There's no vodka in this, so I don't care.
It's true. Absolutely. All right, so I have more of a logistics question for you.
Sure.
When do you like to eat Thanksgiving dinner? Are you an early Thanksgiving dinner, or are you a late Thanksgiving dinner?
So we eat late, but I would prefer to eat early. I think Thanksgiving should be at noon, but nobody's house ever has it ready at fucking noon. You can be late. You can show up at 4:30, and they'll still be waiting around for some shit to cook. Thankfully, I've learned to drink, and so I can just get drunk.
That's fair. That's fair.
When I was younger and couldn't drink, though, my God, it was torment. You show up at 4:30 and there's nothing ready to eat, and you're like, oh my God, like, I'm starving. What's going on? Like, but now you just fill up on alcohol and you don't really care when the bird's ready. Like, fuck it, whatever. We'll eat when we eat. Like, I don't care. I'm just gonna get drunk.
That's a funny story. So first I have to say, so for me, Thanksgiving dinner has to be after 4 because we watch the Lions game annually on Thanksgiving. And we usually have a lunch. We have like a small lunch of crackers and meats and cheeses and things.
Right.
And then Thanksgiving dinner will be later at, 4, 5, 6 o'clock, whatever. And that's just Thanksgiving to me because I can't not watch the Lions game.
Right.
But here's a story for you. My brother and sister-in-law a couple years ago decided to host Thanksgiving for the first time in their new condo in Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina. And in spite of offering assistance to produce this meal, they refused every offer of assistance. So we arrived, we watched the football game. My wonderful late mother-in-law, that was actually her last Thanksgiving, and now it's a great memory. At the time, I was pissed as hell. But she helped a little, like we did some things. But at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, that turkey was still sitting on the fucking counter.
Oh, it hadn't even gone in the oven.
It hadn't even gone in the oven. And I kept saying things. I kept like, this needs to go in the oven. But I was trying to be hands off because I would have, like, my instinct was like, okay, we're doing this. I've got the schedule. We're doing. But it wasn't my dinner, so that's fine. So eventually it made it in the oven. And I kept being told, it's a convection oven. It'll cook faster. I'm like, that's not how convection ovens work.
It'll be done.
You know what time we ate Thanksgiving dinner that day? It was like 10:30 at night. 10:30. No joke.
That sucks. You pointed out, like, the people who eat it 4 or whatever, we tend to provide appetizers, which is great. We usually arrive around noonish or right before noon, and there are at least charcuterie and hummus and that sort of thing provided. And I do a fair amount of grazing on that shit prior to the Lions game, which I also watch every year, even though I didn't grow up on the Lions, but it's hanging out with you guys. It's become a tradition. And I usually watch it. I usually text you guys and commiserate with you during.
You do, or about the halftime show. We've gotten the text of the halftime show before.
Yeah. Your halftime show always sucks.
Yeah, no, I remember one time we were actually at the stadium. We had gone to Detroit for Thanksgiving. We went to see the Thanksgiving Day game, and the halftime show was happening, and my phone buzzes, and it was you. Like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know.
Like some second-rate rap act that you've never heard of, and you're like, why is this a thing? Why do I have to like this?
No, that was funny though, because I will tell you, I mean, to be honest, being at a football game, I love going to football games, but they're honestly kind of boring sometimes because that's a whole nother show, right? But you have action for a few seconds and then you're waiting a lot.
Right.
So, right? All right. So earlier we did talk about side dishes.
Uh-huh.
And you mentioned, we have side dishes that are essential, but do you have any other infinite wisdom on side dishes?
Okay, aside from the green bean casserole, you gotta have. And I mentioned mac and cheese. That's a thing I like. You got your sweet potato casserole, which we were going to talk about. Apparently, there's some debate on that, right?
I have a question about sweet potato casserole.
Okay.
Do I ask that now or do I wait?
Go ahead. Let's go ahead with that.
All right, marshmallows or no marshmallows?
Not marshmallows. Instead, a crust of pecans and brown sugar.
All right, I am with you on that. I do not. I grew up not liking sweet potatoes. I have developed a like for sweet potatoes, but I can't do the marshmallows. That's too much for me. But I am making sweet potato casserole, and I am putting the pecan and brown sugar crust on it.
Yes, the pecan and brown sugar crust is way above. Oh, squash? Yeah, I can get behind squash casserole. Or when you say corn casserole, do you mean like corn pudding? Like, is it cornbread with wet corn inside of it, Amy?
That is a question, Amy. Yeah, we would like to know. Because I grew up, my mother would make, it used to be a can of corn, and then became like a microwaved package of frozen corn that would be on our Thanksgiving table for no apparent reason. I don't know that anyone ate it, but we always had the corn.
I will also say, once upon a time, I had a casserole. It was like that mixed vegetable medley. It's like corn and green beans and carrots and some other shit all like diced up together. Mm-hmm. And then it had a crust of cheese on top of it.
Ooh, yeah.
And then you drizzle butter over the Cheez-Its and then you bake it. And that was actually pretty good. I don't have to have it. I'm not gonna oh my God, Thanksgiving's ruined because I didn't have the Cheez-It mix of it.
No cheesy corn, something, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. I don't need that, but I've had it once and I liked it. It was okay. Let me think. I think so. I usually do it's turkey, dressing, gravy. You have to take the spoon and mash a hole in the dressing, right? And you do that you do that with the mashed potatoes also. You take the spoon, you mash a little crater in it, and you put that's called a tater crater. A tater crater.
Yes.
Which was a sniglet, by the way.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I vaguely remember that because I always did that, because that's what you do.
And then you fill it with gravy, and then you have a little dollop of your jellied cranberry sauce on the side there, and then you have the sweet potato casserole, and then the green bean casserole, and maybe perhaps a roll. Like if there's a roll on the table, I'll eat that too. I don't need that. That's superfluous. It's too much bread, and I don't need it, but I'm going to eat it anyway.
Yes.
Don't cook in the rice. You don't need that. Oh, let me tell you a funny story. Also, during the day, I started to tell the story because one time I told you about the turkey fiasco, but also my wife's aunt has Crohn's disease, so she's gluten free, and so the other aunt tried to make a gluten free stuffing, and she made a stuffing with quinoa. It was not a hit.
Huh. I'm I'm making a wild rice stuffing, but I'm expecting that to be, but it won't be a stuffing. It'll be a dressing because it doesn't go in the bird.
Okay, well, and then we've also had we've had mashed cauliflower instead of mashed potatoes. All these things were not a hit. Don't do this shit, man. Unless there's a real even with dietary restrictions, I think the people with dietary restrictions have a tendency just to avoid the things they know they're allergic to. Like, don't make bullshit substitutions. People don't want them. You're gonna throw that away. You're just wasting your time. That's what I'm gonna say.
So that's funny because I am making a gluten-free stuff or dressing. I'm making this wild rice dressing independently. It goes in a crock pot. It sounds really good. But we will also have stuffing,
Right.
you know, like actual dressing.
Have it in addition to, but not in lieu of. Okay, because
Exactly.
everybody was disappointed here we had the quinoa stuffing. Everybody was sad. Let me tell you something that happened ever since that particular year. Ever since that particular year, my family, my nuclear family, has brought a pot of stovetop stuffing with us. Stovetop.
I mean,
it's preferable to quinoa stuffing. That's how shitty quinoa stuffing is that stovetop is preferable. Yes.
that's fair. And Amy answered the question. Jiffy corn casserole, basically corn pudding. So yeah.
Corn pudding. That's what I just want to make sure we were. I didn't know what she meant, and I wanted to clarify. Also, while Amy is on the horn here, I want to give her a shout out and put her on the spot. So Amy is a what did I say? She has expertise. Is what I was saying.
Because the pun is good.
Amy, if you have any expertise on what kind of cheese we would recommend to go with a Thanksgiving dinner. Let's say that the family is waiting until 4 o'clock in the afternoon to eat some cheeses for the charcuterie plate. What would you recommend? What would be good for that? So give us a shout out. What?
Yeah, do that. We will share that so in the meantime though, so my family, I've had 2 separate side dish experiences growing up. So my father is Polish, half Polish. His mother actually came from Poland. And for some reason, the Thanksgiving side dish for him was rutabaga. And it's literally just boiled and mashed, and it's horrible. It's absolutely disgusting. I do not love it. But there's apparently the word he used for it was a Polish word, and he called it chucham, which I've heard my entire life, and it's really annoying. But I do not like it, and I refuse to make rutabaga. But apparently that's a thing.
It's a mashed root vegetable.
Yep, basically. So
but like if you took like turnip roots and mashed them together instead of potatoes, right? Like so something disgusting mashed up.
Yeah, it wasn't instead of potatoes. It was in addition to. But yeah, it was a disgusting root vegetable that was mashed for no reason. It was bad. Like, don't do that.
In addition to potatoes, so basically it got ignored, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I did. I never ate it. I don't know that I ever ate it, and it was always on the table every Thanksgiving.
At the end of the night, there's still a bowl full of that.
Yeah, I think my dad ate most of it. I think it was just made for him because that's what he liked. But the one alternate Thanksgiving side that I am on board with, and I would have made this year if we didn't have somebody who has a gluten allergy, is. So, Matt tells me he ate the rutabaga. Why'd you do that? Don't do that because it was gross.
Disgusting.
Why'd you eat that? That's disgusting. But Matt's mother, who is Italian, it was not a holiday dinner, any holiday dinner, but Thanksgiving included, was rutabaga tastes like soggy dirt, in case you're wondering. But Matt's mother made pasta for every holiday. So it didn't matter. She would make She would make her spaghetti sauce and some sort of pasta, or she would make a lasagna or something. And
that's why you sent me that meme.
Exactly. I sent a meme. Actually, I meant to share it, and I will, on our Instagram page. So follow us on Instagram. But it was basically a nonna, an Italian grandmother saying, "You want turkey next to Thursday? I make lasagna," which is exactly true.
I read it and I was actually like, I can eat lasagna. Yeah. All right.
Exactly. So Amy's got some ideas here.
Yes.
So we've got a brie. So a brie en croûte, which is wrapped in puff pastry. I'm 100% for that. I mean, you jam and nuts like it's decadent, and then cranberry goat cheese, which we were talking about before the show.
Yes, I said you might mention the cranberry goat cheese. And Amy works, full disclosure, Amy works for Laurel Canal, which is a cheese company that makes a really good goat cheese. You can find it in most of your finer grocery stores. But for years, I have been going to Trader Joe's and buying their cranberry goat cheese log, which I think retails for around $3. If you don't get there in a hurry, though, you wind up getting stuck with the blueberry goat log, which is not as good. Like, I don't even know what to do that. Like, the cranberry is like, that's some good stuff. And the blueberry is like, I'm sad that I didn't get the cranberry.
Exactly. That's exactly what that is. But we bought, because we're going to do, we've got to watch the football game, right? And our friends are arriving sometime around lunchtime. So I will have a spread of, cheeses and meats and hummus and stuff. So we got the cranberry goat cheese. So
very good.
Got to do it. All right. Okay. What else do we have? Because we have limited time.
You said you hated cranberry sauce, but you like cranberry goat cheese, okay?
So yeah, no, that's the thing. It's like a texture thing or something. I like the flavor of cranberry.
Okay.
But I don't like when it's jellied in any way, whether it's a sauce version or the actual like mold version.
Yeah. I would say it's a chutney.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's true. Everybody does love a cheese ball. You'll eat a cheese ball right now if you have one for me. Rolled in pecans, preferably. Pecan crusted cheese ball. Oh my God, that's some good stuff. You're not going to.
I like when a cheese ball is like that sort of pub cheese. Like it's that sort of cheddary pub cheese spreadable. Like it's not really any sort of kind of cheese.
Yeah, it's like cheddar and cream cheese mixed together or something. Like it's almost like pimento cheese but without the pimentos, and then rolled in nuts, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. In the South though, because what we should be making for our Thanksgiving cheese plate, and actually now I'm sad I didn't think of this. I should have got some. Is pimento cheese. You should just straight up pimento cheese.
It's the caviar of the South.
That was the joke I was waiting for. Yes, it is. So it is. But yeah, pub cheese is the cheese ball is just processed cheese. But you know what? I don't care. It's delicious.
Who gives a shit? Hey, we didn't
I'll eat that all day.
Pie.
All right. Yes, we do have to talk about pie real quick. So obviously, I know you're a pumpkin pie man. But what thoughts do you have on this?
Pumpkin pie, I like it cold. My wife likes to heat up pumpkin pie, which I think is ridiculous. Like, that's just nasty. Pumpkin pie should be chilly. It should be like, I'll eat it room temperature, but I prefer it. And then I like a little whipped cream on it. That's good. I don't have to have whipped cream to enjoy it, though. I do like to chase it with a glass of milk. I don't actually drink a lot of milk, but one of the couple times a year I drink a glass of milk, it's to chase a pumpkin pie. Nice. So, yeah, just taste it together. Whole milk. Whole milk.
Whole milk, yes. I only started liking pumpkin pie a few years ago, and I do like sweet potato pie too, but if I'm given a choice, I'll go pumpkin. But I have to have equal parts pumpkin pie and whipped cream. Like, literally equal parts. Like, I just make like layers of, yeah.
Let me do this thing, okay? Second, after pumpkin pie, I like pecan pie. It's good too. I like apple pie, but that's third after pecan pie, and then any other kind of pie would be actually. You know what? I would prefer a cherry pie, but nobody ever makes that for Thanksgiving. I'm trying to think whatever Thanksgiving dessert people might make. I don't know, just those pies.
Yeah, we only ever had pies when I was growing up.
Yeah. Which pies did you have though?
Growing up, my mother preferred, we would always have a pumpkin pie because that's what my dad liked. And then my mother preferred either apple pie or pecan pie. So depending on how many people we had, we would have all three. She never made them though. She always ordered them from someone.
I would be remiss if I did not say this. A wager, there is too much pepper on my popcorn, but I would be happy to partake of your pecan pie.
Oh, dad joke is strong. Good job.
You know what the reference to?
I have no idea.
That's a movie reference. It's from When Harry Met Sally.
Nice. I have not watched that movie since the 90s, so that's good. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
So, but my mother with the apple pie, which was her favorite, we did not eat apple pie with ice cream. We ate apple pie with cheddar cheese. You would cut a slice of cheddar cheese off of the brick of cheddar cheese, and then yeah, exactly. And Amy's she's all about pecan pie and your theme there.
She likes my reference to here. We used to work together, and it was good. Yeah.
Nice. All right, we are literally closing in on the end of the show, and like all of our shows, we could talk about this forever. So probably next year, Thanksgiving week, we'll do the exact same show and just talk about more stuff.
More food.
All right. So I do have for you, I've got a mailbag question.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
This question comes from Matt in Decatur, Georgia. How are you liking your new car?
I am loving my new car. So for those who don't know, I mentioned I got a new car a couple weeks ago. I got a 2016 Mazda Miata, which is the newest version of the Mazda Miata. It actually looks like an Italian car. It's very sleek, and it turns heads. You drive past people and they're like, "What the hell is that thing?" Yeah, it's a nice looking car. Kind of cheap, really, for a car that looks as nice as it is. And I got the convertible version. There's a new version out now with a hard top that when you retract the hard top, it becomes a target top, which you'll have to look at it. You'll have to Google it. I'm not going to explain it for you. But and that looks really sweet. I actually really like the look of that one, but I like the convertible experience which the Targa doesn't provide. So I decided to just get the regular convertible instead of the Targa top, even though I like the way the Targa top looked. It is a great car. It has very few things I would complain about. Lack of glove box space, maybe. I mean, that's something when you get a sports car, you're not really worried about space, I will say.
Right.
Oh, I complained last week about the tire pressure sensor monitors. That's a thing I'm not crazy about. Don't tell me about that if you're not going to specify which tire. Other than that, I don't really have a whole lot of problems with it. I'm so far really enjoying that car. So, Matt, I know what you're asking for. Go buy yourself a freaking Miata already.
Perfect. I will tell you, I think it's on the list. It might be his happy graduation to himself gift. So
yeah,
nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong at all. All right. We've got things that are extra. Bill, what is extra this week?
Oh my God. So I've been running around and they keep playing this commercial on the radio and I don't really know what it's about. I think that like for some kind of People's Choice Award or some kind of award show. Maybe it's the Grammys or some, I don't know. But they're like, you voted and we picked the winners of blah blah. And I just hear the words "you voted" and I like, oh my god, like shut the fuck up already. Like yes, I know we voted. It's done. It makes me nervous. Like I'm so like the election was so divisive and annoying that now like just the word voted like sets me off and, and makes me like edgy and white knuckle nervous, like so just can we not talk about voting for maybe like 6 months, please? And I know like we were talking before the show. Laura lives in Georgia and they're still voting. They gotta vote they gotta vote again or something. They got another month, I think, of hearing about voting, and it's probably driving them fucking nuts. And honestly, I'm still getting emails because now, like, they're like, "Hey, there's a tight race in Georgia. Please donate some money." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." But I'm really sick of hearing about voting. And like, and I know a couple weeks ago I was admonishing everyone to go out and vote, but now I'm like, let's not talk about voting for a while.
That's fair. I was doing something on the fly, and the problem is I'm 3 beers in, so it was hard. But yes, hashtag triggered. You are.
I'm sorry. I've got voting fatigue.
It's fair, and it's fair because I'm with you. I mean, I live in Georgia, and it's not over for us. We just sent in our absentee ballot.
Oh, I know.
I'm getting texts our absentee ballot application, and I'm getting text constantly.
I think you guys are going to get another count, aren't you?
Well, a certain Voldemort has asked for it to happen again, but come on, people have things to do. Like, just stop. Like, or file a court case naming counties in Alabama, for example. Whatever you want to do, we don't care. Just stop. People want to go home.
There's a Polk County in every state you can cite.
Exactly. That is absolutely true. All right, we have reached the end of our show. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. But Bill, will you take us away?
Yeah, this show is produced and engineered by Laura Lavoie. The opinions expressed by Bill are those of Bill and Bill alone, and those expressed by Laura are hers alone, except for the ones that both think are his in agreement to, I guess, and the ones that you guys at home agree with also through the text and whatever. Feel free to email us your questions and concerns and questions and things, and like us and subscribe and follow us and all those things on all the formats. So we'll get some. Tell your friends about us too. We're trying to get up to like 12 viewers. That'd be great. 12 viewers.
That'd be awesome.
That would be so good.
Over 10 viewers.
Everybody, have a good Thanksgiving. Be safe. Wear your mask. Small groups. Stay safe. I don't want anybody to die because we've got so many viewers.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Nobody does. It's very true. All right, we will see you all in a week for our beer episode, holiday beer episode. So join us then. And happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your holiday.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.